What is up, everybody? My name is Pierce, and today we got Dana White's Contender Series Week 9. I'm gonna give you my predictions and betting tips. And I mean, last week, quick recap. I think we went like 2-3, not the best week, but did give out a parlay that hit for Red Basharat, Ikram Aliskerov, and the fight doesn't go to decision in the peak fight. Cash that. Nice job. Fucking Malik Lewis let me down though. That shit was hard to watch. But let's hope we get some better luck this week. And I'll make this quick breakdown video as I'm pretty busy. But we'll get into the first fight we have. Roybert Echeverria versus Jafel. Hello. And then we'll start with the Filho side. So, I mean, the dude has one fight in the past 3 years, which is not a good look, honestly. But I mean, he's 29 years old, so this is when he should be making improvements in his career. But I mean, yeah, you see this. His last fight was in December 2021, so that was about what 9 months ago, 10 months ago, almost. So I mean, that fight. I mean, he got the arm triangle, but it's like his wrestling is not that good. Like to start off, I mean, for Philho, what does he like to do? He's more of a grappler in my opinion. He'll try to get you to the ground, but when he does get on top, I mean, he's good at taking the back. He's slick with that, but I mean, even when he's like in full mount, I wouldn't say like he's like because like some jujitsu players, like it's like they get in full mount and then the fight's over in like fucking the next 15 seconds. Like this dude, I mean, his submission game's solid, but it's like I don't consider him in a high level black belt or anything, but I mean, he is good at taking the back. So it's like if he does get on top, I mean, he has good ground and pound too. But it's like overall, like Philho, I rate him as like a D+C- athlete. Like he's not athletic at all. He just he'll shoot from a mile away and just try to fucking like tackle you to the ground. He kind of reminds me of that Aguilar dude that fought a couple weeks ago, the grappler. But I mean, the tape overall is very underwhelming on Philho. Like, I mean, I was able to see the Vinicius Salvador fight, who's actually a recognizable name. He won on the Contender Series earlier this year. I mean, that was a good win. He was able to take down Salvador in the second round, and then he was able to get off some good ground and pound. But I mean, Vinicius Salvador, we know what his holes are, and that's his grappling. So, I mean, it's a solid win, but you need to take it with a grain of salt. And then I'll just get to the Echeverria side. So he's definitely, I feel like, in my opinion, the fighter that's being brought in to win. Like, I don't really like to look at it too much, but like, if you look at the Instagram followers, that kind of like shows you who's the more popular fighter, who the UFC is kind of bringing in. Just saying. But I mean, yeah, he's Echeverria. He's a goat shed guy down in Miami. So that's a very interesting selection of gyms. I will say the people down at Goat Shed are trying to go viral, as some would say. But you see in who he's fighting. I mean, Echeverria is not really fighting the highest level competition. He is a Titan FC darling. So they've been trying to set him up for the past year with a bunch of easy fights in Titan FC. I mean, you see 2-15. I mean, 3-0 this Shabarzin. That's probably his best win. And then you got 2-17, 0-2. Bro, he fought Ernest Wells fucking twice, dog. Like, why the fuck are you fighting the same dude twice in the span of 5 months? That's just weird. But poor Ernest Rawls, man. That dude's not an elite level fighter. I'm gonna stop talking shit about him. That's fucked up. But yeah, I mean, he beat the great Ernest Walls. He beat 0-2 Kenneth Sabino. Great win right there for Echeverria. And then you see in this Waskar Cruz fight, that's probably the fight everyone's gonna point to. Split decision. I mean, Waskar, he's a good fighter. I mean, he's 12-8, but like he's just like a tough little Dominican fighter. He comes to bang, and I mean, he dropped Echeverria multiple times. I think it was once or it might have been twice, but I mean, he was hitting him with some dynamic shit on the feet. Like he threw like a spinning heel kick and then followed it up with a left hook. So it's like he's getting caught. And I mean, that's probably the one fight where he showed a little bit of a questionable chin, but it's like Echeverria's he recovered well. He was able to stay in the fight. He's definitely more of a striker than anything. He's more of a kind of like a Thai fighter. He kind of likes to bang in the pocket, but he has a lot of power and dynamic striking. So I mean, honestly, in this matchup, I mean, I feel like it's pretty binary. If Echeverria can keep it on the feet, it's his matchup to win. I mean, Filho, I mean, he does have some striking on the feet, but it's like his hands are down. He doesn't really have any good like range finder weapons, but yeah, I mean, I feel like if Echeverria can stuff the takedowns, he can be the more athletic and more explosive and dynamic fighter and get the finish here, which is very interesting to me because you go to the odds, and I believe he's still an underdog. He's like plus 150, I believe. Yeah, so fight odds isn't really working with us right now, but I believe it's like plus 150 Echeverria and then like minus 175 for Filho. So I mean, honestly, I'm gonna place a bet on Echeverria. I mean, I like how he's training at Goat Shed, so you know his grappling's gonna be on point. So honestly, yeah, if he can just keep it standing, it's his fight to win. And then like I've seen him like counter wrestle before. I mean, it's not against the highest level dudes, but it's like you can tell the dude has a solid overall game, and I just feel like he's the A side here, and I'm gonna take Echeverria, and then probably Echeverria by knockout too if we can get a good number on it. And that brings us to the next fight. I think it is, yeah, we got Nurullo Aliev versus Josh Wick. All right, well, this fight's another simple one to break down. We'll go to Aliev. So he's from, I believe, Tajikistan. If I'm correct, yeah, he's representing Tajikistan. So I mean, his game is pretty straightforward. He likes to pressure, grapple. He just pressures you with the hands, tries to take you down, and then he's just a superior mixed martial artist against most of the dudes he's fought. I mean, he's solid. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he's not a good fighter. I mean, he's a minus 650 favorite in this fight for a reason. But it's like he does seem to slow down a little bit as the fights go on, and it's like his striking. I mean, he's a bit wild on the feet. I wouldn't say he's like a technician on the feet, but I mean, when you look at this matchup, I mean, it seems pretty binary. I mean, you would assume that Nurullo is going to be the superior grappler here, and if he's just able to take down Josh Wick, he'll probably be able to win a decision here. But I'm a betting man, so you know I have to pay attention to the odds when I'm betting on these fights. And Aliev's a minus 650, and I believe the comeback on Josh Wick is plus 475. I mean, although I think Aliev should win, like he's definitely going to be the superior grappler, and he should be able to take down Wick. I mean, we've seen Wick taken down. I mean, against I think it was Mo Miller. Did he fight Mo Miller? I don't fucking know. I think that might have been, but I mean, yeah, we seen no, that was Mando Gutierrez, who we're gonna talk about that fought Mo Miller. But Josh Wick, I mean, yeah, you see in this Fisher fight, he did lose this one against old man Josh Fisher. He kind of just like got bullied that fight. And I mean, Wick, I mean, I guess you would give to him that he is he's a tough dude. I mean, he's always there to fight. Like he 12-5, so you know he's gonna be very experienced. I believe he actually fought a while back Vince Morales. Yeah, you see right here back in 2015, he fought UFC veteran Vince Morales. And if y'all want to watch that, that was a great fight to watch. But I mean, Wake's a tough son of a bitch, bro. Like he's out here fighting good fighters. Dan Moret, that's a good fight. I mean, you see this Thiago Alves 10-4, Johnny Nuno's good fight. I mean, Jason Fisher. I mean, he's fighting good competition, but it's like it's just a matter of what how good you think his takedown defense is. Because if he can keep it on the feet, Wick can make this competitive. Like I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Aliev's an elite level striker and that he's got Wick beat everywhere. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess you gotta go Aliev just solely on the fact he's gonna be the superior grappler. But it's like plus 475. Like I'm probably gonna take the shot on Josh Wick. I mean, if you look at this dude, looks a bit like a character. You know what? I'm not gonna say anything, but they call him the White Mamba for a reason because he got that Mamba mentality. But yeah, I mean, fuck it. Well, for prediction's sake, we'll just say fucking Josh Wick by submission. Keep an eye on that submission prop. Actually, I do think I've seen Josh Wick throw up some arm bars from his back. So you know, heel hooks too. He's kind of crafty on his back. I believe if I'm still correct though, I think he's training some he used to be training at Team Elevation. I don't know if he's still there right now, but he's up in Colorado. So you know his cardio is going to be on point for Wick. So it's just a matter of maybe he can take Aliev into deep waters and maybe break him. But yeah, we'll go with the big underdog here in Josh Wick. Yes. we'll say submission in the third round. And then we'll go to the next fight, heavyweight fight here. We got Austen Lane versus Richard Jacobi. I mean, I don't think neither of these dudes are that good, to be honest, but they're on the Contender Series. So, I mean, Austen Lane's coming back after being on the Contender Series. I think it was, what is it, like 3 or 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago, he fought Greg Hardy. I don't know if some of y'all remember that knockout. Pretty vicious knockout. But, I mean, Austen Lane, he's athletic. He comes to fight. I mean, I will say that. But, like, I'm not like super impressed by like his game. He's always in like close fights with most of the dudes he fights, but I guess you could say that he has some power. I mean, he does have cardio, I guess, because if you go to this Juan Adams fight, he was just able to gut it out and survive. I mean, Juan Adams did what Juan Adams does, and he just took him down for the first. I think it was like 2, 3 rounds, but like you could start to see the tide turning. And since it was like a 5 round fight, Juan Adams was gassed out, and Lane was just able to put it on him in the fourth. But I mean, like, and then you see this Eric Lunsford fight, which was his most recent one. I mean, the dude, I think he like took him down or something, and then he like tore his ACL. So it's like you can't really take much out of that. But I mean, overall, Austen Lane, he's an athletic fighter. He's tough. I will give him that. But I mean, he's not like a master technician or anything, and he's just a tough heavyweight. But I'm not gonna talk too much shit on their game. But then we got his opponent, Richard Jacobi. I mean, Jacobi, he's all right. I mean, his records of opponents that he's fought, he's like 22 and 22, 0 and 3, 2 and 0, 0 and 1, and then his last fight, it was a draw, a majority draw, which honestly I thought he won the fight, but he his opponent, I believe, kicked him in the nuts, and his opponent lost the point. So I mean, if he didn't lose a point, his opponent technically would have won. But I mean, it was a close fight. I thought it was 2-1 Jacobi, but they gave it a draw. I mean, overall, Jacobi's game, I guess he's more of like a low output kind of counter striker. He's got some pop in his hands, but it's just tough to really get a good read on this fight. I mean, I think Jacobi might be able to win by just being the more like put together fighter. He doesn't make as many mistakes as Austen Lane. Well, Austen Lane, he'll kind of overextend a lot and make some mistakes. Like I honestly feel like too, if someone gets on top early, that they're probably gonna stay on top because both these dudes aren't the best at getting up off their back. And they'll both occasionally grapple offensively, but it's like it's a heavyweight fight, so pick your poison here. I mean, I'm gonna go with Jacoby just solely on the fact that he makes less mistakes than Austen Lane, and it's like he's an underdog. And one bet that actually got my attention was Jacoby on Bet Online at +3.5 spread. It was actually +140, but his money line was +120, which is a bit wild considering that the spread, for those of you that don't know, if it's +3.5, that means Jacoby needs a finish. Or worst case, if he loses a 29-28 decision, it still goes to him because the scorecards add up to 3 and it needs to be +3.5. So I think that's a great bet. +145, I think it is on Bet Online. Don't know how long that's going to be up. I think they're going to adjust it. But yeah, that's going to be the bet for me. +3.5 spread on Jacoby, but we'll also take Jacoby by we'll say first round knockout. I do think Austen Lane is a bit chinny, and I think Jacoby's going to find that chin. All right, and then we got, I guess you could call this the people's main event. We have Raul Rosas Jr. versus Mando Gutierrez. So we are going to start with Mando. Mando Gutierrez, he is a East Lansing boy from Detroit. Shout out Jamal Hill, shout out Buckley. But, I mean, Mando, I mean, he's a good grappler. I mean, he has solid jiu-jitsu on the feet. I mean, he's nothing special on the feet. He's just tough as fuck. His chin, I mean, I've seen him get rocked. I think it was the William Elliott fight. He got rocked, and then I don't know. I don't think it was the Matthew Elliott. No, no, no. William Elliott and Mo Miller fight. He got rocked on the feet pretty bad. I mean, the William Elliott fight, he fucking battled through some shit. I think he got like dropped like 2 times. Elliott got in the full mount, and then and Mando was actually able to just fight up, get on the feet, and then I think he forced Elliott to shoot like a really bad takedown, and he was able to sprawl on it, and then he ended up on top, took his back, got the rear naked choke, and that was all in one round. So the dude was getting borderline 10-8 that round, and he came back, took the dude's back out the finish. So he's tough as fuck, and he's gonna be there to fight. And then you see, and people are gonna point out probably this Mo Miller fight. For those of y'all that don't know, Mo Miller, he was on the Contender Series last year. He's a solid fighter overall, good wrestler. But Mo Miller, I mean, he was struggling a little bit to maybe get it down early in the fight, but that was more so because he was having success with his hands. But in the second round, yeah, Mo Miller took down Mando, and then Mando really didn't have much to offer. I don't know if he was like tired or hurt, but Mo Miller was able to find the rear naked choke there in that fight. That was a quick tap there from Mando. But I mean, that's the reason. The reason why I bring that up is because this 17-year-old that he's fighting, Raul Rosas Jr. He is we know what his game is. Every single fight, he'll shoot a takedown in the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Doesn't really show much striking, but he's looking to get the fight down to the ground, take your back, and choke you out. I mean, he's 17. We need to understand that. But I mean, he fights like a 17-year-old, just all gas, no brakes. He's not worried about his gas tank at all. He's just going all out for the finish from the moment the bell starts. And I mean, I guess the concern here on the Rosas side is his cardio. I mean, you see here against Jose Penaleza, it was round two rear naked choke. I mean, his cardio didn't actually look too bad in that fight. So I mean, he's young. So I mean, I don't know if necessarily his cardio is going to be the worst. But I mean, we don't know what he's really like on the feet, to be honest. But on the ground, I mean, he's very slick with that back take. And I don't know if it's a mix of him being good or him fighting low level opposition, but he just like runs through all these dudes. I see why he's being brought on the Contender Series. Very exciting fighter. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of question marks with the striking. We just haven't seen it. And the cardio, don't really know what his cardio is going to look like. So I mean, it's a close fight. I'm gonna side probably with Raul Rosas Jr. just because he has more promise, and I honestly feel like if as long as he doesn't gas, I feel like he should win this fight early with maybe like a first round sub. But it's like Mando's a good grappler, so it's like you can't count him out on the mat. He made it to the Big Show grappling, just like Raul made it to the Big Show grappling. So it's not like they're giving him a striker with zero ground game. They're giving him an adequate grappler here. So it's like I can't be confident on either side, but I mean I'll go Rosas. I'll go by first round submission. But I did see the Rosas KO prop. I believe it was plus 900. I took a sprinkle on that. I'm not gonna lie, because I've seen Mando get rocked a couple times in his fights, and it's like you see right here, Rosas got the ground and pound finish his last fight. I mean, he has solid ground and pound, good elbows. He's a very vicious fighter. I will say. I hope he wins, but I don't know if he's gonna get signed due to the fact that he's fucking 17. But we will see. But we're gonna go with Raul Rosas by a first round submission. But we're rooting for that KO. You know what I mean? But and then that takes us to the main event. We got a middleweight fight: Leon Aliu versus Bruno Ferreira. So they call him the Hulk. I mean, there's a good reason why. Dude fights like the Hulk. He's just all gas, no brakes, just like fucking Raul Rosas. I mean, they're both these fighters here, Aliu and Ferreira, are both very wild men. So I see why this is going to be the last fight of the night. I'm getting Bellato versus Petrino vibes here. They're both just going to throw down, and whoever falls down first is going to get it's going to be the loser, and the winner is going to get the contract. So I mean, in this matchup here, I mean, we got Bruno. I mean, he's got power in his hand. I will say between the two, he's probably more defensively sound, and I mean, I don't even think he's that defensively sound. But Ferreira, I mean, he'll look to probably grapple more, but it's like on the feet, he's kind of just a wild man, throws like overhand looping shots. But I mean, he does have power. He's put some people out. I believe. I think it was this last fight against De Jesus. Yeah, he knocked him out cold with like ground and pound, which was pretty fucking vicious. But I mean, overall, I mean, his submission game, he's got a slick little submission game. I think I've seen him get some hard triangles, rear naked chokes. He's solid on the mat. Good I guess he's just aggressive on top, but it's like all these dudes have like both of them combined have 100% finish rate. So it's like as much as I want to say Ferreira wins, it's just like both these dudes are gonna throw down, and it's like, do you really want to put a lot of money on two low level brawlers? You really want to do that? I don't really know. But Leon Alou, we see here his most recent fight, James Webb and Cage Warrior, swept that dude fucking cold. He came into enemy territory, Knocked out James Webb, good knockout there. And then you see this loss right here against Chad Hanekom. I don't think I was able to see that fight, but it says lost decision unanimous. I'm guessing he maybe got grounded out and just grinded on. I mean, this dude overall, he's very sloppy. I mean, there's not much technique to his punches. He's just throwing wild hooks, just trying to finish you. But I will say he does have the death touch, but so sloppy. Like, I don't even know how this dude's in the UFC or getting a chance to be in the UFC. But if whichever one of these dudes gets a contract, if they even give one, probably going to be a fade in the UFC. I think they're both very, very sloppy. And this is going to probably just be a brawl. And so I'm guessing since we're betting, maybe just take the under. Fight doesn't go to decision. That's probably the smartest alternative. But I'm gonna go Bruno Ferreira by first round submission. I think he can maybe get on top Leon. We don't really know what his grappling is. I can kind of tell it's not good. But yeah, maybe get on top, get a quick sub. But I mean, I want to be more confident in Ferreira. I just don't think he's a smart fighter. So it's like hard to really back up the bank to bet on him. But I mean, we'll go to the betting odds. Hold on, let me pull up best fight odds because this should be. So we'll talk about. I mean, parlay pieces this week. I'm not really looking to parlay much, except I'll wait to see what the fight doesn't go to decisions look like. But yeah, there's like no really money lines that I'm trying to parlay. I mean, like you see here, Aliev minus 610, minus 650 on Bet Online. It's just like, what's the value in that? Like, I mean, he should win, but it's like, do you really want to like parlay 7-1 favorites on Contender Series? It's just a risky proposition. I'll probably bet Wick if it gets to 5-1 just for like the little sprinkle and degeneracy in me, but yeah, I'm not parlaying Aliev. I mean, I don't blame anybody for doing that. I saw some people talking about Nurullo, Aliev, Bruno Ferreira parlay. I mean, I get it, makes sense, but not for my liking. But I will say on the prop side for the Leon Aliu Bruno Ferreira fight, I believe Aliu KO was plus 700 and his submission was plus 900. So I mean, honestly, like as much as I think Bruno probably does win, it's like 7-1 KO. That's a bit silly. I feel like that's a money line bet on Aliu. So if you want to bet that as like a hedge and then bet Bruno Ferreira in your parlay, is probably not a bad look. But yeah, 7-1 KO is a bit crazy. And then the 9-1 sub, I forgot to mention, he Leon Aliu, he's got like one submission that he goes for, a power guillotine. So it's like if he gets a power guillotine on Bruno Ferreira, so be it. But yeah, if Bruno Ferreira can defend a power guillotine and stay safe on the feet, I think he should win the fight. But we'll go to the Gutierrez Raul Rosas fight. So we see Rosas right here, minus 150, and Gutierrez plus 130. I mean, I want to bet Rosas just solely on the fact that he's probably, I don't want to say he's probably being brought in the win, but it's like the UFC is, you can tell in this matchup, they're giving him someone that's not really an elite striker, someone that's going to grapple with him. And I think Rosas is a talented grappler, so I'll take the superior grappler here. And minus 150 is not a bad price. I wouldn't go crazy with him because he's 17, but I'll probably bet him maybe submission round one if we can get a good number on that. But I mean, maybe if you want to bet Mando, look to live bet it because I feel like if Mando's alive after 5 minutes, it's going to be a very interesting fight because of the cardio concerns with Rosas. And we'll go to the Austen Lane Richard Jacobi fight. I mean, I mentioned to you guys plus 145, plus 3.5 point spread on Jacobi. I think that's a great bet because you see right here on Bet Online, it's plus 110 money line. Money's been storming in on Jacobi today. I guess the word's out that Austen Lane's not a fucking world beater, but I mean, yeah, if you guys like Jacobi, I would get on him now. Looks like money's coming in on Lane. I mean Jacobi, but yeah, I'll take the point spread. KO, maybe sprinkle the KO, but I don't think the KO is a good number either. And the Echeverria fight, that's probably going to be my biggest money line bet out of all the fights. Echeverria, I like him plus 150. I was kind of surprised that he was the underdog here. I thought it'd at least be a pick 'em, maybe slight favorite Echeverria because it's like Filho. I get that he has a good record. I think he's like 14-2, but I mean the tape's not that good. It's like, I mean, I guess he could have made improvements, but it's like he's not a great athlete. His wrestling's not elite. I mean, he's a decent jiu-jitsu guy, but it's like Echeverria. He's a good counter wrestler. Like he's got a good sprawl, and it's like on the feet. I'll take Echeverria all day because he's just more explosive. He's just got more knockout power. I think the younger, more aggressive fighter is going to win here, and Echeverria. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for us. If I were to make a parlay though, doesn't go to decision for the Bruno Ferreira fight. I think that's a good parlay piece. And we'll do the doesn't go to decision for the Rosas Gutierrez fight. I think that's another good parlay piece. And we'll take I want to say the over like 1.5 in the Aliev Wick fight. I think that would be a sneaky good parlay piece because Aliev's not much of a finisher. So we can parlay those three over unders. Could be a good plus money there. But yeah, I mean overall, just be careful. Just take the my opinion with a grain of salt, as I got a lot of dogs this week, so it's like be careful. It's gonna be volatile. It's contender series, but let's be like Joe Pfeiffer. Let's not be Daniel Selhuber. Be Joe Pfeiffer. Amen. Have a good one.